Good evening, Lake Orion. Well, we're back after a week's absence. I'm your host, and I am Between Taorminas. Yes, indeed. This is Between Taorminas here on ONTV. For those of you wondering where Ian Weatherspoon is, well, let's just tell the truth. Ian Weatherspoon, ladies and gentlemen, is running late. And Ian was supposed to be here, but who knows? He'll be here when he can. So for now, we got Garrett here.
Well, let's be honest here. I might be a little bit better than Ian anyways. So I'm going to fill in admirably for him this week.
Well, let's talk about something. We've got the Lions to talk about. Troy Anderley, Sammy, a good friend of ours, is going to be very, very happy about this. The Lions lost to the Tennessee Titans. So what's your take about this?
Well, despite my fantasy team being 0-2 and the Lions,
we'll find out this on the Fantasy Football pre-show.
And the Lions losing this week. I mean, you got to look at what happened here. I mean, the Lions lioned themselves this week because 17 penalties for nearly, I think it was about 135 yards.
Something like that, yeah.
And this was pathetic to see with the Lions. And the way they played, the way they looked, they didn't look good. And the reason why they lost is because, one, they let the refs get in their head.
Yes,
and two, Marcus Mariota just led a great drive, and that's why Lions lost.
Well, not only just that, you're in your home opener. I mean, think about this, guys. You have your home opener. You won an incredibly fast-paced game, a game that some people argue you should not have even won in the first place in Indianapolis.
No.
And you come home and you're playing a team that, let's be honest here, it is maybe going to be a 5-6 win team at best. And you don't do it. You don't get the job done. I mean, that is disappointing, to say the least, if you're a Lions fan. Now, there are things you can take away from it. I mean, the one place I want to start is, I actually thought Stafford looked all right. Now, I know he had that interception late in the game, but I thought he looked all right. The running game was okay. Ebron at least took a decent step forward. Marvin Jones looked nice, but you know, at the end of the day, a loss is a loss. Now you're 1-1. You got to go to Lambeau Field and play Green Bay, and it's not fun because aside from last year, and I really don't consider that a win last year. It was a fluky win at best. I mean, you got to prove to yourself that you're going to be a big dog against this Packer team.
Garrett. You got to look at this here from a perspective here. This is the Lions. This is a team in which they're a fluke. This is a fluke of a team. They're not that good. And why is Jim Caldwell still coaching this team?
They're going to also potentially, they could potentially be even more of a fluke, and we'll have to even see how much further they'll even be set behind with the injuries to a lot of guys. I mean, let's be honest here. You suffered significant injuries to 3 prolific players on both sides of the ball. Right. DeAndre Levy, Ziggy Ansah, and Amir Abdullah. And from what I'm hearing from Amir Abdullah, it doesn't sound good. Same with DeAndre Levy, doesn't sound good. Ziggy Ansah, we'll see. But if you're missing your top running back and you don't have another veteran option there, you got Zach Zenner and Dwayne Washington. That's all you got in the running game, aside from Theo Riddick. I would be freaking out right now, at least in the offensive side of the ball, from the running game, and then especially with that defense that has been hailed as one of the best. Not one of the best, but it was hailed to being better.
According to ESPN.com.
But they were hailed to being the defense that they were in 2014 when they had DeAndre Levy healthy. They haven't done it yet. When is that going to come? Is that going to come on the road this week? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, when you look at the Lions, this is a team that has not fared well. They have not managed to be consistent. And this is a team that needs a lot of work. And the Lions are a team that need a lot. And the Lions are not as good as people think. They aren't.
Now, my whole thing is, Ant, maybe, I want your opinion on this. We've seen, at least for the past 2 weeks, Matthew Stafford's been good, especially the first week he was good. Last week he was better. He did miss a few routes. I mean, part of that wasn't his fault. He did have an interception that cost the Lions the game. Has he so far, taken leadership in terms of at least showing that he understands what Jim Bob Cooter's doing? Because it's been in 10 games under Jim Bob Cooter that he's had to learn this offense. I feel like at least Jim Bob Cooter's given him an offense that suits his skill set a little better.
Well, let's look at it like this. Matt Stafford has gotten better the last few weeks. It is going to take a process to learn everything's a process, but they should not be losing games like this to Tennessee.
No, you're right. At the same time, he's had 8 weeks last season, plus an entire offseason and 4 weeks of preseason and 2 weeks this regular season to learn this offense. I think if this offense plays like it did, especially the first week against Indianapolis,
yes.
and then you go and you work upon some of the mistakes you made last week against an inferior Tennessee Titans team, you could be a better team. I still don't think that this team's going to be a 500 team, but I think that
penalties killed this team. Penalties did. And you got to look at
They got it on unreprehensible challenge against Green Bay. Green Bay.
Well, this is going to be the measuring stick because Minnesota still looks they're going to probably win the division. You're not sure what Green Bay team you have there. It sounds like they didn't have problems figuring out whether they want to run the ball or what they want to do with Eddie Lacy.
Not good.
And Chicago just is washed up on Lake Michigan somewhere. Like, come on now.
Yes. So I would say if I had to do a projection, Green Bay wins this game.
Now, see, I think Green Bay wins this game, but I think they win it closer than most people think. I don't think people will give the Lions credit and give them a snowball's chance in heck to be competitive in this game, but I do. I think Stafford is going to keep them in this ball game, and I do think even if Ontz is healthy, I still think that gives them a chance. I don't think they need DeAndre Levy necessarily as much as most people think. I think it's going to be a close game, but yeah, the Lions are probably not going to win that game.
They won't win.
Let's be fair here. Lambeau's one of the toughest places to play.
Yes, it is. I think Green Bay will win it. I think the Lions, they owe it to their fans to win this particular game against the Lions.
Is that more so because of the disappointment last week?
Last year. Not last week, last year.
Well, they could have been 2-0 heading into a key divisional game against arguably a team you're trying to chase not only for, most realistically, a wild card. So I think, no, you're right. You want to show people that last year wasn't a fluke. Even though you've said this whole entire team is a fluke.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. You know what? It'll be fun. It's always fun to see how early this team can go early on into the season and face adversity in Green Bay.
Yes.
So it'll be fun. Nonetheless, Green Bay wins.
Exactly.
All right. We'll be right back with Between Taorminas here on ONTV.
When I'm in Lake Orion and I want to catch up on sports, I watch Between Taorminas.
We own a Habitat home.
I love working on my Habitat home.
Soy dueño de una casa de Habitat.
My neighbor is a Habitat homeowner.
Being a Habitat homeowner has changed our lives.
My mortgage payment for Habitat is less than what I pay for rent.
Habitat for Humanity of Oakland County currently has homes available with mortgage payments lower than most rent payments. If you or someone you know needs decent and affordable housing, call 248-338-1843 or visit our website at habitatoakland.org.
Welcome back to Between Taorminas here on ONTV. Gentlemen, how you doing?
I'm wonderful, Anthony. Thank you for having me fill this, arguably this very large chair that normally Ian Witherspoon would hold.
Sammy, how you doing?
I'm hanging in there.
For those of you, again, wondering where Ian Weatherspoon is, ladies and gentlemen, Ian Weatherspoon might have got lost in the Himalayas somewhere. Or he might be in Cleveland, Ohio. Who knows? Being friends with the Indians. Or some people from Kansas City might have abducted him. Who knows?
He might have been stuck in Indianapolis. Who knows?
No, he went to Kansas City.
He
lost. He got turned on I-90 and just went
His
west.
GPS got hacked.
Yeah, I agree with you. His GPS got hacked.
Well, see, or he could have ended up in East Lansing, which we're going to end up in East Lansing right now.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing
because
listen,
Michigan State beat Notre Dame.
They did.
And I'm telling you right now, Michigan State, it would not surprise me, once they beat Wisconsin this week, it would not surprise me if Michigan State goes undefeated heading into that Michigan week.
I'm going to say this, and I think you're absolutely right, Sam, because I don't know if you've ever listened, but I've gone on record and I've talked to certain people, and I said, look, the Big Ten was Iowa's to lose. They just lost to North Dakota State.
North Dakota State.
North Dakota State, though, is pretty good.
Right, and that was a trap game. I had a feeling that would be a trap game because the next week you got to go on the road and play Minnesota in Minnesota.
Yep, and that's the
so that was the trap game, and I was, and that was cool to see that happened. So now you know that the Big Ten is going to go through the Eastern Division.
Yep.
I don't see anybody stopping MSU, and I don't see anybody stopping OSU and Michigan. This is going to be fun. This is going to be really fun.
You know, this is the best. I think the Big Ten East is the best division in the country, even better than the SEC West.
As of now, yes, I could argue that, but I want to talk specifically about MSU, Notre Dame. You go up by an incredible margin. I mean, you're up 29. You're up 29 points at one point heading into the fourth quarter. You end up winning by 8 against the Notre Dame team that, let's be honest, probably has no business being in this game in the first place. Does that concern you, or is that just more of Mark D'Antonio's style of play? He doesn't want to bury people in the grave while it's still floating.
Well, I got concerned when Mark D'Antonio became conservative. You know what I mean? I mean, it started to unravel once he started to get conservative, especially offensively. And then, of course, when you look at what happened, is they end up being conservative not only offensively, but also defensively. Mm-hmm. And you look at, and that's why Notre Dame took advantage and tried to come back in that game. It got nervous. It got nerve-wracking real quick. But end of the day, you got to look at it here. Michigan State won that game.
I wouldn't be as nervous if I were you for the sole reason of the way that team played in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. Was probably not indicative of how they're going to be the entire season. Mm-hmm. The fact that you had 2 weeks to prepare for a team in Notre Dame and you played the way that they did is very encouraging, especially with the quarterback that people had some questions about, an offense that some people had questions about. You know what? I'm going to say this now. I honestly think that they should be a top 5 team in the country. I mean, they could have possibly even leapfrogged Michigan if I were them. I mean, that's not a knock to Michigan, let's say.
Michigan struggled against Colorado. They did.
They did, but they haven't had a test yet.
They won't have a test. They won't have a test.
No, but this was
maybe
a good
Wisconsin,
test to see them come back from 14 points and go and be 38-7 in the second half against a decent Colorado team. I'm not going to say that they're
not
awful.
Good. They're not good. They're not good.
Okay, yes, they're right.
Colorado is not good.
But
I'm telling you right now.
Okay,
I'm telling you right now. Michigan is not going to play anybody until they get to Michigan State.
Correct. Because Penn State's not great.
No. Wisconsin's not great.
No, and they're ranked 11th in the country, and they also lost their two top starters at linebacker for the season.
And running back.
No,
they had the running back for this game.
And it's not going to be. It's not going to be, I think, as tough of a test that people think it's going to be this weekend in East Lansing. It's not. But here's the one thing I want to say about Michigan. Yes, they came out of the gate stumbling, yes, but this is a young team. I don't expect them to race out to the gates like they did the last 2 weeks because that's unrealistic. This is a young team, and I think that youth is going to hurt them in the end.
Right.
And I think they're going to crush Penn State this weekend, yes. But I think if you are a Michigan fan, you have to look at this last week of what Michigan did and see how Wilton Speight stepped, how he handled that pressure and handled that adversity.
Talk to me October 22nd and then let me know about that.
Mm-hmm. He's a young quarterback, though. He hasn't had a full start.
That's what I mean. October 22nd is going to be where he gets tested.
No, you're right. And October 29th is obviously going to be another test, too.
You guys noticed something, too? Western Michigan and Central Michigan are both doing very well, too.
Oh, my God, yeah.
People were talking about online trying to get College Game Day to Kelly Shorts Stadium.
They need to go there.
I will. You know what? If they go to Kelly Shorts,
they both have the potential to be undefeated.
You, me, and the man that's supposed to sit in this chair, we will get a tent, we'll pitch it, we'll make some signs, we'll act crazy, and we will go to Kelly Shorts Stadium, and we'll be the biggest Central Michigan Chippewa fans you will ever see.
I have a guy that I know very well as a Western Michigan fan. His name is Kevin Kopech.
The girls basketball coach.
New girls basketball coach.
So you're saying you would go as a Westerns, you would go in Bronco gear. You would row the boat? Would you row the boat?
Hey, they knocked off Northwestern. They knocked off Illinois.
Illinois is garbage.
I know Illinois is not good.
Still, knocking out 2 Big Ten teams is impressive.
Yeah, he's knocked out 2 Big Ten teams impressive. Now, Central Michigan, they did knock off Oklahoma State.
Yes.
Now, that was a legit victory.
I know.
It was.
It
was a legit victory. I agree.
And the public outcry for that is ridiculous, if you ask me.
Oh, I agree.
Oklahoma State's acting like whiny babies.
Did you hear what they wanted to do? They wanted Central Michigan to rescind their victory. Do you think Central Michigan will do that?
No.
You don't ever rescind your victory.
You know this. There's one thing about losing, or there's one thing about winning, okay? You can win one way, and that's fine. But if the refs screw up and they give you that opportunity, look, it's their fault. It's their fault they did it in the first place.
You take advantage of the opportunities.
It's their fault in the first place, and Oklahoma State shouldn't have put themselves that close to Central Michigan to begin with anyways.
Right.
That's their fault.
Right.
Nobody else's.
So it wouldn't surprise me if Michigan State's undefeated, Western Michigan, Central Michigan are both undefeated. It wouldn't surprise me.
Can you imagine that? How much this means to the state of Michigan right now?
That would be absolutely incredible. That would be actually really incredible because Central and Western heading into their rivalry would be undefeated, and most likely Michigan State heading into their rivalry game being undefeated. I mean, that would be, if you're a college football fan in this state, that's just absolutely cloud 9 for you.
Yeah, it is.
And with that being said, I think we can both agree that both Michigan and Michigan State should win handily this week. I think State's going to have a little bit more of a test because Wisconsin is still a decent team, but both should pretty much win handily.
I think Michigan State will win this week. I think Michigan's going to be much closer than people think. Penn State's got Penn State's got a good running back in Devon Sharkley, I believe his name is. And I think he's gonna have a huge. I think he'll have a huge day. Well, at the end of the day, I just think Michigan.
But Jordan Lewis is coming back. Let's be fair here. That defense hasn't even looked half the way it's going to the rest of the season with Jordan Lewis.
Well, they're gonna get tested October 22nd.
No, you're right. They will.
I think Michigan State will win this game. Their defense will bounce back from.
The question is, does Western and Central both go undefeated?
Yes.
I would say so. Yes.
Yes.
I mean, both have beat top tier programs, Power 5 programs, and both should be undefeated heading into their rivalry
night game. Yeah, and it's a night game too in Kalamazoo.
All right then. All right, we'll be right back with Between Taorminas here on ON TV.
Hey, this is Mickey York from Fox Sports Detroit. When I want to get the inside scoop on local sports, I watch Between Taorminas or Fox Sports Detroit.
Hi, this is Sean Belligian from Fox 2 and State Champs, and when I am in Lake Orion, I do not miss Between Taorminas. You want to know what's going on locally? How about that Lake Orion hockey team? They've got quite the program going. Go check out Between Taorminas.
Welcome back to Between Taorminas here on ON TV. Garrett, how you doing?
Fantastic, bud. I could not be much better. We got a win in fantasy. All's good.
You're proving to be a much better host than Ian Weatherspoon ever was.
Listen, he likes you too.
You deserve a promotion.
Well, I would gladly accept one, but I think Ian would respectfully disagree.
Who cares what Ian Weatherspoon thinks? He's a cat man.
I like Ian Witherspoon.
Yeah. Sammy?
That's me.
Let's talk about something that'll make you happy. The Detroit Tigers
They're done.
They're not going to catch the Cleveland Indians.
They're done.
Nope.
They're done.
They're done.
They're done.
They're done. And I think Ian Witherspoon has bought a Party at Napoli's t-shirt. He has replaced the Cleveland Indians tribe drummer.
Yes!
And
yes!
should we make the motion that Ian Witherspoon should now be the next tribe drummer for the Cleveland Indians?
Yes, we got a deal. Yes.
Wow. Okay, no.
This team is done though. I mean, let's be fair here.
Wow.
I was one of those people that still held out hope. I don't think that this team is as bad as their record has always been, but you can't go into a 3-game series like that. You can't be as offensively inconsistent as you have been that 3-game series and expect to make up ground. You got 15 games left. Yes, you face the Twins for a 3-game set, and then you come home and play the Kansas City Royals, but that series could be potentially they win a game or two at Comerica Park against the Tribe. The series done. The season's done.
It's over because here's why. And I don't think the Tigers. The wild card race looks like it's starting to become really, really bleak right now for this team. And then you look at the situation here with the Tigers. Ian Witherspoon should have listened to me. He should have listened. And the reason why
he did listen. That's why he's going to Cleveland. And he's going to be the Tribe drummer.
Yes, he should have listened. And he's gonna get me dinner, and he's gonna get me everything that I've wanted. And I'm telling you right now, this is a program, this is a team that I've told him for the last I don't know how many years this was not gonna be a playoff team. And I said either it could be Kansas City or Cleveland that's gonna win this division, and Cleveland's gonna win the division.
I don't think the Tigers were anywhere I think near as bad as they should have been last year. I don't think that the Tigers will ever be that bad again, but I also thought that you are also a little harsh. They need to make changes, yes. They do.
Does Brad Osmus need to go? Yes!
He does. I mean, why wouldn't he go, Ant? Let's be fair here. I don't think that the way that this team wants to play baseball, with the pieces and the way that Al Avila has set this team up, I don't think is good enough for Brad Osmus. The first year, what did we see? We saw him running. We saw a lot more sacrifice bunts. We saw him running guys more. We saw a lot of, pressure situations, a lot of force outs, a lot of different plays, getting guys not just from station to station. Now, he's station to station. He doesn't utilize Cameron Maybin.
No, he doesn't utilize him enough because I'm telling you right now, this is why the Detroit Tigers are overrated and Brad Osmus is bad of a manager. I'm telling you right now, an experienced manager would use a guy like Cameron Maybin to his full potential. An experienced manager would use
like
Miguel
a Jim
Cabrera
Leyland
to his full capacity. You know why? I'm going to tell you why. I'll tell you who the Tigers should get as the next manager. Omar Vizquel.
And people have talked about that.
Yes.
I think also, too, Brad Osmus, I don't necessarily pin it all on him. I think part of it could be on Gene Lamont as well. Because let's be fair, he was the one holdover from Jim Leyland's coaching staff. Him and Jeff Jones. And Jeff Jones obviously retired last year. Gene Lamont could be very well feeding him stuff from the Leyland era, and Osmus just rolls with it. I mean, this is a guy in his 3rd season. I don't think Osmus is going to ever lead the way, and you get yourself into this problem. Because I do think this team should be in the wild card and division hunt right now. The way that they're playing this year, I think they should be. I mean, you've had Michael Fulmer come out. You've had Matt Boyd and Daniel Norris pitch well this year. You've seen young guys take the next step this year.
But I'm telling you right now, the division right now that they're in, Cleveland is solid because of Kipnis and Jose Ramirez and their starting pitching. You look at Kansas City, they had a down year because their pitching was not as great as last year. Their bullpen was not as great as...
Mike Moustakas got injured also.
and Moustakas got hurt. And I'm telling you, Chicago had a rough year. Minnesota had a rough start. I mean, I'm telling you right now, if the Tigers would be playing the way that they're capable of playing, they would be a 3rd place team right now. So you think why Ian Witherspoon's not here is because of the Tiger struggles? Yes.
He's throwing a party at Napoli's.
Yes.
He's partying right now with Mike Napoli.
Yes.
Drinking the champagne.
Yup. He's drinking champagne with Mike Napoli.
He's thrown the white flag in the air, and he's just parading it around downtown Cleveland.
Or he's on Lake Erie right now going like, ahoy, ahoy.
Well, he also could be a Cleveland Browns fan, which is probably being more miserable than a Lions fan.
So. Yes. I agree with you.
They're starting Cody Kessler. They're starting Cody Kessler this week.
I know they're starting
Cody Kessler didn't even do anything at USC.
No, he didn't do anything at USC. Oh, my goodness gracious.
That's awful.
Yes. Garrett, I'm finally starting to agree with you on Ian Albert Witherspoon.
What?
I'm starting to agree with you on Ian Albert Witherspoon. He needs to be a Kansas City fan, he needs to be a Cleveland fan, and he needs to be re-educated.
Well, There are certain things I don't agree with you on. That might be one of them. But also one of them being your fanhood for the Dallas Stars and you blaming other people for them. And speaking of the Dallas Stars, they have some people in the World Cup of Hockey that's going on in Toronto. Just a perspective, because I don't want to get too much into hockey. We've probably only got a few minutes left. But how have you guys thought about that so far? That's supposed to be a tournament potentially replacing the Olympics. I've thought it fun. I've thought the format's been a lot of fun.
It's a good tournament. You know, I picked Canada to win it, and I'm still going with Canada. Even though the Americans are going bye-bye.
Oh, Canada.
USA.
Well,
Heck, even I know Bob Bridges and Bill Reese both support Canada.
Well, I'm a Canadian citizen as well.
Oh, congrats.
Through my father. Through my father. No, I like the format. And the one thing I like most about it is the young kids. I think the fact that you get to see the young players of the game all on one team, it really draws a lot of casual fans back to hockey.
Yes.
And it's on ESPN.
Yes.
And you got USA and Canada. You've got a lot of intrigue surrounding that.
Yep.
I think it's a nice tournament. I think it should replace the Olympics.
I think more countries got to get involved. More countries.
Well, I think they will, but realize this, they brought it back after a 12-year absence.
Oh, I agree.
So I think this was just kind of the testing period.
Introduction period.
This was the testing period.
I think it's going well.
I've loved every single second of it, and I think we need more of it. We need more USA Canada. We need more John Tortorella throwing people under the bus.
Well, he's
we
going to
need
do that
John
with the
Tortorella
Rangers.
on this show.
He's going to do that for the Rangers. I would love to get an argument with him.
The Blue Jackets, you mean?
Oh yeah, Columbus. I like to see him get.
We need him on this show, so then there'd be 3 wonderful bearded Italians on this show.
Thank you.
And that would be fantastic.
Any final thoughts, gentlemen? I'm telling you right now, this is the year the Dallas Stars win the Stanley Cup. What about any Ian Weatherspoon final thoughts? Ian Weatherspoon, he's on Lake Erie right now going, away, woo!
Thank you all so much for watching Between Taorminas this week. We will see you all next week. Have a great time, Lake Orion.